Hey there, my name is Malte. I'm super excited to be here today to talk about it's time for modular product management. And before I dive into the details, I would like to give you a few facts about me. So, I'm the co founder, CEO, and CPO at airfocus. We are the world's first flexible and modular product management platform. More on this a bit later. And I'm a product enthusiast myself. So, I love building product and user experiences, and this is also how I stumbled across the problems we are solving today. And I'm also a father of two, so I have a 3.5-year-old daughter and a 5 months old son. And yeah, let's dive into the details. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the challenges of product management in delivering real value, and I'm going to list a few of the things that we found in one of our recent surveys. Very interesting stuff. Then we're going to look at what is modern PM. Super briefly, just a few hot takes on what defines a good approach to product management. And then we're going to look at the accelerated needs for modular product management tools. And then, surprise, surprise, we're also going to look at airfocus, and I will show you around the product on a little walkthrough. So let's start with the very first topic, the challenges of product management in delivering real value. So here are some brand new stats from our latest State of Product Management survey. So the biggest problems, and you see in the headline here that we identified 6 core challenges, but like not all of them or most of them are not really new. They're essentially confirming what we all know. But I still think it's super helpful because it shows you again like what you should think about and where you should put the focus. And if that's not happening in your job right now, you should maybe try change that and find ways to get back to the essences. So, what are the biggest challenges? So, 33% of the people that we surveyed said that they struggle defining a strong and well communicated product strategy. So that makes complete sense. Product management is an art and a science, and you want to be strategic, especially in a world where there's so much competition and so much knowledge freely available. So you want to be strategic in what you do, and you need to most and foremost like bring stuff together from all these different areas, be it customer feedback, be it strategic insights that you have, be it additional things that other people in your company might contribute to the strategy. So you need to bring it together and write it down. Then secondly, 32% reported that they're really struggling communicating roadmap and decisions and aligning people around the product roadmap and the company and product goals. Thirdly, 30% of the people stated that they are struggling understanding what the customers want, and this makes like I actually think this number is much higher, but let's see. People don't talk enough to customers, and then sometimes they don't listen well, and it's not because they're stupid or they don't try hard. It's just super difficult, and you need to develop a skill to actually listen and then understand what is meant, and this just takes time, and you also need to dedicate time, and we see a lot of our customers, and to be honest also us internally at airfocus, struggle with this a lot all the time. I mean, it's really a big problem, and it's not new. So 29% of the people state that they need to become more efficient at delivering more features more rapidly, and this is one that I would like to understand a bit better, but not on this talk today. So I know that many product managers are stuck at feature factories where they're expected to pump out more and more features, but I'm really convinced that it should be more about the outcomes, and a bit more on this on one of the next slides. But you want to be careful not just looking at the number of features and the velocity when looking at like what you eventually want to achieve here. So 26% name the communication and alignment of different stakeholders as a core challenge. And again, this makes total sense. And I will show you a screen that I really love that summarizes what product management actually is. And this gives you like clear indication why this is such a hot challenge. And then equally, 26% struggle like prioritizing the right initiatives on the roadmap level, and then one level lower, what opportunities to focus on. Yeah, and this is airfocus core competence territory. We started as a prioritization tool a few years back, and we really try to understand prioritization. And I completely get that. Like prioritization and road mapping, those are the two biggest challenges of PMs, and really all of the product teams struggle with it in one way or another. But yeah, like to me, the surprising thing here is not so much surprising. It's more like the highlight topic here that these teams struggle with the product strategy and all the underlying topics. So let's start by defining modern product management. I think that's very important that we all have like a combined understanding of what modern or good product management is. So first and foremost, it's about understanding the importance of outcomes over outputs. So it's less about building features and more about delivering products that solve real world problems. And also as part of our state of product management report, we identified that 40% state that growing needs to become more outcome focused. So I think there's realization now that this is important and that you need to move away from feature factory thinking, and like getting to a real outcome driven product management approach is it's not easy, but more and more teams are going that direction. So then the second point of modern product management is to invest in discovery and experimentation. So ask any PM and they will tell you that they should focus more on talking to users and understanding the problem, the markets, then run experiments around different solutions. And coming back to that challenges part on the previous slide, really working on product strategy and bringing it all together. So what we also see is that there is still a transformation between waterfall approach to this truly agile approach, which includes continuous discovery. And a lot of the teams, they claim they are agile, but we also see a lot of fake agile or stuff in the middle, which is not always bad. It really depends on the company and the situation. But I think there's now mutual understanding that an agile approach to tackling problems is the way to go. So the fourth point here is product first. So this move to product-led growth strategies, and this is very close to product management in that you try to build user experiences that really are built around the product and not so much around like sales and marketing. So product-led growth essentially is a business methodology in which user acquisition, expansion, conversion, and retention are the primary drivers, and they are all driven by the product itself. So the product is doing all of that heavy lifting. And to sum it up, a product-led growth product or business is actually able to just live with the product. You could probably pause CS, sales, marketing, all of that, and if it's a really awesome product with self-serve built in, you will be able to survive with it in a little thought experiment, of course. Yeah. So yeah, and like our studies is all about product-led growth, the realization of companies and PMs that this is a trend that's here to stay, and yeah, product teams need to put more focus on how to get there. So let's talk about the accelerated need for modular product management tools that fit your uniqueness. So this is my special topic that I have been thinking about for years, and that is really close, obviously, to also what we do here at airfocus and what I'm driving here as the CEO and CPO. And as a side note, like COVID has really accelerated all of this. Like previously, we were all in the office all the time, and we were able to do magic on whiteboards and be able to align ourselves on coffee dates and all of that. And this has all changed with COVID. I don't want to go into the details because I think we're not only all sick of COVID, but we're also sick of COVID literature and COVID tips and so on. At least I'm speaking for myself. So in order to achieve that modern state of product management that I outlined a bit earlier, and in order to make sure you can define and communicate this clearly articulated product strategy, you need a structured way of doing product management and a dedicated product tool that helps you create a single source of truth. And why modular, you will learn a bit later. But before we dive into what a modern product stack is, let's look at what product management actually is all about. And this is the slide that I referred to a bit earlier. I love this slide. I could actually explain it to my mom. She immediately would get it. So product management is the intersection of customers, technology, and business. And I actually will print it out after this meeting and put it on the walls here because it's so elegant and it's giving you focus, right? Like you're here in the middle and your job is to look at all these elements here and moderate and make decisions that account for this complexity. Yeah, and in order to accelerate innovation and in order to create compelling products and drive revenue, you need to bring all of that together. So how do product teams solve these problems today? So I know many of you probably are already on a bit of a more modern stack, but a lot of product teams still work like this. So they have these complicated Excel spreadsheets where they have self-built prioritization formulas and where they try to manage the entire backlog and the roadmaps. And pre-COVID, they were also doing stuff like putting stuff on post-it notes here on the side. So you see this. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just not as efficient and effective in today's world. And since you have to be so fast in innovating and producing value for your customers, you can't just afford to lose time and focus and create all that waste by not having tools that are up to date. And this was also confirmed by our State of Product Management survey. So 43% of PMs state that a dedicated PM tool is the answer to most of their challenges. So it makes sense. If you don't have a tool, it's like trying to drill a hole with a hammer. You will eventually fail. And coming back to the challenges again, like you want to be strategic and you want to create that space to collaborate around the problems and feedback and prioritization and road mapping, and you simply can't do that in Jira and this besaid Excel spreadsheet. You need a home for your product team to collaborate with the team and other stakeholders in other departments and make product management an inclusive science or art, depending how sophisticated you work. And you want to make sure that it's an inclusive workflow and that people get the chance to give feedback and be part of your product workflows. So that's why product tools have become so important, and as they help provide a space for problem solving. And Yeah, this is how we see product management, um, and how the product tool should function in the broader space. So sorry, I think my camera is overlapping the left text here. So it says feedback here on the left. So essentially, there's feedback and data on the left that is surrounding your company, and it's constantly flowing in. And then there is a product management tool, in this case airfocus, in the middle, that is kind of taking all these inputs and making sense of it and putting it together, be it strategy, prioritization, linking feedback to your product items through insights, road mapping, obviously, and then this continuous discovery that you do from when stuff arrives to taking it through the opportunity pipeline to then handing it over to delivery and making sure you're actually building the right things and solving the right problems. So it's not really a linear flow from the left to the right, but there is also like feedback loops in here. Like you launch stuff, you get feedback, you inform people who have given feedback about a certain thing. So it's a cycle that obviously also makes sense in when you apply HR thinking here. And going now back to the point of modularity, we learned as part of our survey that product managers, half of the product managers state that product management tools have poor usability and that they do not fit their unique team needs. And this was really good for me to see, because we believe here at airfocus that companies and products are very different and unique, and that also the way companies work um, um, very often makes sense. And there's not always a best way of doing things. There are some things that you can apply and that you should apply, but sometimes there are very good reasons why company work and behave and are structured the way they are. And we are not big fans of um, having a rigid and strict system that says, hey, there's one way of doing product management. Now adapt with your company and your products to this workflow. We think it should be the other way around. A software should adapt to your needs, and it should kind of be empathetic and try to understand what problem are you trying to solve right now, and just give you solutions for this very specific problem. And then when you need more, you just build on top of this. And this also leads to increased usability and a better user experience, because you can start super slim, for example, just with a roadmap, and then um, when you need more, like an advanced prioritization system or feedback management and insights, you just build on top of it. And you will see that very soon in the demo, um, how this can actually be done in airfocus. So what is important in a product tool? It needs to adapt to your unique workflows, and it needs to be able to grow with you when you scale. It needs to be easy to use and friendly, and it needs to be inclusive. So you want to make sure that other stakeholders and other product teams can work with it. And especially when organizations become more complex and you maybe have multiple teams, multiple products, dependencies that go across departments. Maybe you have a whole lot of PMs and multiple head of product management and then a CPO on top of it. Maybe you want to create very specific views where you bring stuff from multiple groups to a portfolio view. Like all of that is important, and it helps including other people. And our thinking is, if you're inclusive and you bring people together, you will make less mistakes, and you will generate these awesome insights that help you move ahead. So let's now jump into the demo. So airfocus is the home for products and the people who build them, and we are the first modular product management platform. So everything you can do with airfocus, you can do it your way, because your way in most cases makes sense. So you can sign up for a free trial on our website. And when you now go into the product, you will see that you find your team name here in the URL. So in our case, it's boom.airfocus.com. So you see, since we're Germans, we are super funny here with the name, and we took the famous video conferencing tool as an example here. So I hope the laughing is going on right now on your side. So this is your airfocus team, and this is where you have multiple workspaces. And in this case, we have a Voom feedback workspace, which you will see a bit later. This is the place where you manage all your feedback and where you can link it to your product work. And then we have the Voom video platform workspace, which we will now look at. So this is now the workspace, and a workspace essentially consists of items. It consists of different fields, and in airfocus we don't have a million systems fields that we force upon you. You will only see the fields that you need, be it your objectives, your roadmap lane, your labels, some prioritization criteria. And aside from the items and the fields, we have this concept of views. So you have different views like this table view, a prioritization chart, a roadmap, even a release plan that allows you to create better release documents. And then the fourth component of airfocus are apps. And apps are essentially these little super tools that help you solve very specific product management problems. And I will talk about these in a second, but let's first go back to this overview here. The table, this is usually used as a product backlog, but everything is customizable. You can have as many views or as little views as you want. It's up to you and your workflows, and we have a great bunch of templates that you can pick from when you create your first workspace. So one of the most powerful apps here at airfocus is the priority ratings app, and this essentially gives you custom factors, in this case value, effort, and revenue, and it gives you custom criteria that underlie these factors. So value consists of reach and impact, and you also see that they are measured in different units, and you have team effort as one of the only effort criteria. We also have revenue. And yeah, when you fill out these ratings here, you see that our system calculates a priority score, and this priority score helps you essentially make better decisions, or gives you guidance, kind of like a North Star. And tackling this very interesting topic of prioritization, right? Like, you obviously prioritize always on multiple levels. So prioritization is not just, hey, you have a prioritization scoring system like this one, and then you go through the scores and then you get a prioritization score and done. You just build the things with a high score. This is not how it always works, and it depends a bit on the stage that you're in. And especially such a prioritization system makes most sense when you know already what the problem is, when you have identified rough or detailed solutions of how you want to solve it, and the list is just too long, right? This is a problem that we all face. The list of things that you know you need to build and you kind of have spec'd out is just too long, and then it makes sense to put stuff through this prioritization framework. But on a higher level, obviously you want to have some other prioritization processes around what objectives you actually want to do. And we're now entering OKR territory, and I could talk about this for hours, which I'm not going to do right now. But essentially, the important takeaway here is that prioritization happens on multiple levels. Obviously, you want to get your mission and vision right. Then you want to have the right company objectives. Then you want to break these objectives down into team objectives, as you can see here. And then when you know all of these opportunities here and epics and features, they kind of pay into these objectives, and you still have too many, then a prioritization system like this is super, super helpful because it gives you guidance on all the views. And let's say you have now put all your epics here through this prioritization framework, and you have this scored list of opportunities. You can then go to your priority chart, which shows you the quick wins and the don't do's, and obviously the high value, high effort projects here. And if you scroll over these items, you will find that the push notifications actually is a quick win here, and you can then click on it and find the details here again, and then you can make decisions around when you want to tackle this. So you see this one is right now in design, and maybe you want to put it back into discovery because you learned something, or you actually want to move it to development. So this gives you this bird's eye view to make better product decisions. And then obviously you have the roadmap, and we have different visualizations to create roadmaps and product timelines. And on this board view here, you find a now, next, later roadmap for your initiatives or opportunities. And of course, there are different ways here to visualize all of that data, right? Like we have display options that you can actually also save on the view. Don't want to go into details here, but you can also show all of these items in a very simplistic, non-swim lane way, and you can, in a very customizable and user-friendly way, decide actually what you want to show here to bring the message across and to do proper communication of your roadmap. And all of these views here in airfocus you can easily share with others. And going kind of from road mapping to actual release planning, we have a very powerful timeline view, which allows you to do drag and drop and create dependencies with these very user-friendly and interactive animations here, or actions. And you can create milestones and again change how you want to visualize all of that. And it's really up to you how you want to visualize this release plan before you then share it with other stakeholders in your organization. And since we don't have unlimited time for this call, I'm just give you like a super rough overview about other apps that we have. So we have Priority Poker, which is a collaborative way to do these prioritization ratings. So just because I think this is a 7, it doesn't mean that 7 is the best number for this specific cell here. So what you could do is you could spin up a Priority Poker session and invite other stakeholders to give their inputs on whether this should be a 7 or whatever. And our system will then suggest an average that probably is better than the 7 that you have here if you have smart people in the meeting. And you can play Priority Poker in an asynchronous or synchronous way, so in a live session or whenever people have time. And then again, overview about the little super tools that we have here. We have the Item Mirror app, and this is a super powerful tool for bigger teams that have a lot of complexity. Essentially, you can create multiple workspaces and show items from one workspace in another workspace and then do magic there. And this really helps to foster cross-workspace collaboration. And then we have a feedback app, which will be soon renamed to Forms app. Essentially, it gives you a form on the workspace or the item, even on share links, that allows you to collect feedback from other people, be it your co-workers or just your customers who access your share link. And yeah, like the other app that is super powerful here is the Insights app, and I will show you in a second how it works. And just to finish off what you can do in an airfocus workspace, we have very powerful integrations into your Jira, Trello, Asana, Azure DevOps, Shortcut, GitHub, Zapier, and so on and so on. And with two-way sync and advanced field mapping, and you can essentially connect any tool that you already use and build workflows that make sense for you. So let's go back to the home view where you find all your workspaces. And I mentioned the feedback workspace in the very beginning. So the feedback workspace is a place where you can centralize all the feedback that arrives from different channels, be it your intercom, maybe manual notes from a sales call, maybe something that a marketing guy added via the Chrome extension. Doesn't matter. You can send stuff to this inbox, and then what you want is that the product team or the product managers go through this feedback and categorize it, so you kind of define the status and whether this is relevant and when something is relevant. So let's take this one that was sent over by a CS agent via our intercom integration. You can go into the specifics of this conversation that our CS agent had with the customer, and you can highlight the relevant parts here and then link it to an item that you have already on your product workspace. So you remember that we were looking at the push notifications a bit earlier. So this customer feedback is now linked to the push notifications item, and you are now informing the product discovery and the strategic approach to product management by linking customer feedback to product work. And you now find that this specific customer feedback here is now linked to the push notifications. And there are also a few other feedbacks that have already been linked. So there are currently 4 insights here, and you can also find this number here, and it gives you guidance and quick access to the feedback when you're trying to understand this opportunity or this specific solution that you're building here. Yeah, this is super powerful, and we have dedicated feedback integrations and more to come that help you put feedback handling on autopilot, and it essentially gives you a much smarter way to give your customers and users a seat on the table, right? Because they are using the product on a daily basis and they know a lot of stuff, and you want to make sure that you're listening and understanding what they need, and that you're making all these insights part of your discovery and product strategy. Yeah, so obviously there's a lot more to the airfocus product management platform, and I would really recommend to sign up for a free trial and check it out and experience all the modularity that comes with fields, views, and apps. And if you have ever any questions, we have a few very helpful things here, and you can always talk to our people here at airfocus. We usually respond within 5 minutes. So going back to the very presentation, thank you all for listening to this webinar, and you can scan this QR code right now to sign up for a 14-day trial, or you can simply go to airfocus.com and if you want to learn more, and if you want maybe sign up for our newsletters and look at our resources like the ebooks around product management, prioritization, road mapping, product-led growth, and so on and so on. So thanks again, and have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.